Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. My name is Trina, and this is the Anointed to Dance TikTok page. The purpose of this page is to assist all liturgical and praise dancers across the globe in bringing their dance ministry to another level in God and for God. If this is your first time viewing my video, I encourage you to go to my page as well as my YouTube channel and view all the content that I've provided for you, along with my guests and I, providing spiritual references, scriptural references, nuggets, words of wisdom, and tips to assist you in your journey in the dance ministry. Now, if you would like for me to give you a dance review on any of your videos, do let me know and I would love to do that for you. And also, if there are any topics you would love to hear me discuss, let me know as well. You can either do that by DMing me or typing it in the comment box below. All right, so today we are going to talk about adding drama to your dance choreography, adding drama or acting to your choreography. As a young girl growing up, I've always developed and always knew within me there was something. So it was the arts. There was something that I love to do, different things that I ventured out into that captured my interest, and it was always in the arts arena, the creative arts arena, whether it was singing in the choir in school, which is where I started acting and singing in the choir. I was introduced to musical instruments. The first one I was introduced to in school, elementary school, was a xylophone. I'll never forget that. Um, then the triangle, and then doing paintings and drawing and all of those things. I started off in school being introduced to and had the interest to do those things. And one of my acting debuts actually was being Allison, playing the role of Alice. I'm sorry, playing the role of Alice in Alice in the Wonderland, the Tea Party scene. I had that scene and I had it down packed, so I was good. So, and I was in kindergarten, come to think about it. So I played the role of Alice and the Tea Party scene, and with musical instruments, as I said, I was introduced to the xylophone in school as well as the triangle, along with other instruments, but those really caught my interest too. And then in addition to that, outside of school, my we call him Junior, his name was Frank Robertson Jr. He, Lord, may the Lord rest his soul, he actually was introducing me to the guitar as well as the keyboard. He had a little organ. So he was trying to teach me how to play the guitar and how to play the piano, little keyboards and stuff. So I had the introductions to the arts at such an early age, and it stuck with me. And of course, it was naturally within me because just outside of school, and outside of what my uncle was trying to introduce me to, I always just loved to dance anyway. That was just part of me. And I guess it's in my DNA because my father, he was a drummer and he's now a singer as well as a pastor at his church. And my mom was a dancer as well, dancer and winning dance competitions when she was younger. So arts is in me, music is in me, the creative arts. Um, so when I got older, I started getting more active in church, acting in school, acting in church, and being part of plays in the church, as well as I joined the choir at the church because I was acting in the choir at school, elementary school, painting, doing all kinds of creative things, drawing. I love to draw. I was very good at it, just so you know. I was very good. I love drawing people. So just so you know, I think I'm a little rusty. If I get back to it and painting and all, if I get back to it and just focus and take my time, I'm sure I'll get back on track the way I used to be. But nevertheless, it's still within me, that gift of art and drawing. And so as I got older, I joined the choir at church. I joined the plays. I participated in plays at the church and eventually evolved into dancing at the church once it became started becoming um I wouldn't say acceptable, it started being allowed. Because it just still took a while for people to accept, and it's still taking a while, I'm sure, for people to accept dance in the church. So those are the things that I was doing since early childhood. And so the creative arts is me. And so that's why I believe that it became so easy for me to incorporate drama or acting into the dance pieces that I eventually became involved in and started choreographing as I became the leader of the dance ministry at two individual churches. And one of the couple of things, like for example, sorry, my leg itching. Couple of pieces I've done, I've incorporated the dance ministry or acting into these dance pieces. Was, let's say, Dances of Divinity. That's a little young children. I think it was ages 5 to 12 I had. Yeah, I think it was like ages 5 to 12. And the piece that I did it was called, what was it called? It was called What About the Children? So that was one of the pieces that I did. What About the Children? By Yolanda Adams, the Anointed Vessels of Worship. This is all in Atlanta. I did like, well, What About the Children? I had the jumping rope scene in the beginning. I had two kids turning the rope and another kid jumping the rope. So to kind of help with the theme of What About the Children? Okay. And with the Anointed Vessels of Worship, still I changed the generation. There were different little groups I had. It was part of the choir. We combined with the choir. They did a song called Change by Tremaine Hawkins. And I had different pieces, different groups doing certain things, little acting scenes. And one of them was Change, when she said change. And I had one individual, she was wrapped up in cloth, like dirty cloth. And once she changed, the person, one of the individuals, removed it as she spun around and removed the cloth as she spun around, and she was in all pure white. So it was like she was changed from the old her to a new her because she found God. And another piece I did with the same group, Anointed Vessels of Worship. It was like it was part of a stage, the drama ministry, and we had to do I forgot the name of the song, but it was Tone song, and we had the army fatigue, and we had like these little, you can get them at Dollar Tree if they still sell them, like the glow in the dark, like swords. And we were like Charlie's Angels. We did all kind of stuff, rolling on the floor like we were in the army, and doing all kind of military stuff like we were in boot camp. But it was so effective, and it was at night, so when the lights were kind of dim, so we, with our glow in the dark swords, we ended up like Charlie's Angels, one this way, one in the middle, Anyway, so that was nice. And another um with the Vision Dance Ministry in Atlanta that I was part of, it was a community group. We actually, the director, Miss Monique Bershango, she allowed us to choreograph, come up with pieces. She gave us the liberty to come up with pieces, and for one of our big events. And she asked me to do one, and I did a piece called Me. Yeah, just me. And it was basically about an individual, a young lady who was going through some issues, and including drugs. She was dealing with drug addiction, and she ended up finding the Lord, and she was delivered and set free. And so I did a lot of how you tie your arm up, and do that kind of thing, and the addiction kind of thing. I did add a little acting scenes up in there. So that was one of the things that I had to do. And I was glad to do it. Now, one of the pieces I'm going to elaborate more, Didn't My Lord Deliver Daniel? That was one of my favorite pieces to do at Greater Travelers Rest, now Household of Atlanta. And with Greater Travelers Rest, it was for Black History Month, and it was a slavery mentality type movement, peace, that I wanted to go forth with because of Black History Month. And I want to remind others as well as myself the things that our people went through, the things African Americans went through. And forced to go through is within their daily lives, washing clothes and picking cotton, working, nursing their kids, nursing the overseers' wives, kids, it just their everyday life as a slave. And to put this piece together, I went a little notch up because when I did me, my friend EJ, he was part of the group as well, Beckham, he did the musical part. We came together and he did the musical part of it all with the different sounds effect, with the bird chirping and the wind blowing and stuff like that. And I did the vocal piece. I kind of basically talked as if it was the while the person was acting out the scene, I was doing the talking. I was the voice of this particular piece that he put it all together. As that was part of that was the actual music, the sound for that actual piece. So we put that together. I was really proud of that. But so for I went a different way for Did My Lord Deliver Daniel? It's the same song Alvin Ailey Dunn have been doing for years and years and years. But I wanted it to be a little different from what people are used to seeing and what I'm used to seeing when it comes to Did My Lord Deliver Daniel? What I did was I brainstorm. I was like, this got to be different some kind of way. So I asked God for guidance, which we always need to do, ask God for help. And so he gave me the vision to search for a voice of an old slave woman. And that's what I did. I searched and I searched and I searched till I knew what I needed to hear. Because if he didn't exactly tell me what um it would sound like, but I knew what I needed to hear. Once I heard it, I knew it was gonna be, it was one of those, this is it. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for, but I know it when I hear it, that kind of thing. So I just searched and searched and searched, and I finally found this voice and the woman speaking, saying certain things that was perfect for the piece, the whole overall vision of the piece. And so I found it, and that ended up being the beginning of the piece. So it was like the acting, the voice speaking, and then it was like two layers. The introduction was the voice of the woman speaking, the old slave woman speaking. And while she was speaking, there was a little acting scene going on with different individual dancers doing certain things. One dancer was washing clothes, with the little washboard, and another dancer was on another part of the stage rocking her baby or nursing the baby, probably the white baby. And then another dancer who had a little basket on her head, was walking and working. And and I forgot, I think there was another dancer doing something else. So that was the introduction. And at a certain point, I had them look up when she said a certain word, they had to look up, and that's when the dance choreography actually began. So that was something that I was very proud of because it was another level. It was something different and different, creatively different. And that's what I always aim for, because God is a creative God. Just look around the world and, at different things, different creatures. You see something totally different. Like, God, you were really creative with this one, huh? Especially those different fishes under the sea and animals, different things under the sea. It's like, gosh, Lord, you were creating, right? So that was one of the things that I did I incorporated into my dance pieces and choreography, and I really love it. And interpretive dance, as I mentioned earlier, dancing was part of me, and acting was part of me. So became really easy for me to combine the two, dancing and acting. And even with interpretive dance, that's why interpretive dance was easy for me as well. Interpretive dance, for some of you who may not know, is when you're interpreting movements, certain words with movements, and making certain expressions like power. You doing power, you know, that kind of thing. And you have to make the facial expressions to go along with it. You can't say God is powerful and you do God is powerful. God is powerful. He's almighty. Does that look effective? No, it does not. You have to say God is powerful and almighty. mighty, whatever, you choose to do or God reveals to you to do. So, interpretive dance, that's why it was easy for me because acting is in me, the acting spirit, the gift of acting was always in me since I guess birth. God instilled me. God places gifts within each and every one of us at birth, if not before birth. Let him tell you. He'll reveal it to you. And the dance drama is basically as a telling us a story, is a little brief definition that I've discovered. Dance drama is telling a story through dance. Telling a story through dance. And Sally Clark says, having acting skills and technique adds on essential dimensions of communication and expressions to a dancer's art. Let me say that again. Having acting skills and technique adds on essential dimension of communication and expression to a dancer's art. Essential dimension, which to me is effective ministry because you can reach people so effectively, especially people who are very visual like myself. They can see the dance piece, but to add on that extra dimension, that extra layer of acting to get that message across, whether it be about salvation, whether it be about inspiration, whether it be about the song because of the song, whether it be about inspiration, motivation, strength, and power, whatever the message is, of course, overall, it's about God and Jesus. But certain things, if it's about healing, you can really work on that and get that message across creatively by asking God, of course, to help you and getting your inspiration from any other areas. Asking God, He can reveal it to you through the arts by looking at art pieces, as I've always mentioned, with your surroundings, your environment, conversations. You can get ideas, your billboards, signs across the highways and byways. Where as you're traveling, you can see something that pops up. You can hear something on the radio, see something on TV, a TV commercial. That God talks to you in so many different ways. He's a different type of person, a different type of God that you can, if you're in tune, you will be in tune. You got it. You got that? You got that? All right. So, so that was my way of incorporating dance, acting in the dance pieces. And let's see. And I pray that you get the idea. If you've never done this before, I encourage you to try to go forth and do that. And I'm gonna tell you different ways how to start and just to kind of, get yourself out there. Like Jesus told Simon Peter, launch out into the deep. I need you to launch out into the deep, step out on faith and go ahead and try it, because just like when Simon Peter, even though he complained a little bit, Lord, we were out there with our nets and we didn't catch nothing all day, no fish. But Jesus told Simon Peter, launch out into the deep, go out there again. And Simon Peter basically said, we did this, we tried it, but we'll go ahead and try it again. And guess what happened? They went out and their nets were overflowing with multiple types of fishes. So just like Simon Peter, God tells you and reveals to you to go out, launch out into the deep, step out on faith, and trust Him in doing this new thing. Because God said, I'll do a new thing. I'll do a new thing in you. I will do a new thing in you. We used to sing that a lot at Greater St. Stephen in New Orleans. I love it because it's a great message to inspire you and encourage you. So I encourage you to launch out into the deep and watch how God blesses you in a mighty, mighty way. You and the members of your dance ministry and the dance ministry as a whole will be blessed because you'll be giving God the glory because that's what the main goal is anyway. In everything that we do, we have to give God the glory. Let's see. So these are the ways you can go about incorporating drama or acting into your dance choreography. And one of them is to know the occasion. If you're being asked to minister or go forth for a particular occasion, like we did, Anointed Treasures of Praise at Greater Travelers Rest / House of Hope of Atlanta. Um, let's say it was for Black History Month. And so we went forth on that Sunday. I wish we had, it was like pulling teeth. It's always like pulling teeth for us to, as dance ministry leaders, to get a copy of our uh, odd video whenever we go forward. So I do have a video of our last rehearsal. I have some rehearsals, actual pieces, but as well as our actual last rehearsal, but I do not have, I was unable to, unfortunately, get access to the actual video of when we really did go forth. Of course, I'm in it because during rehearsal, the last rehearsal, you won't see me because I'm the one holding the camera. But in the actual rehearsals, I'll show you bits and pieces of the rehearsals that we went forth. But you'll see me teaching the choreography. And so what you would do, you just think of the theme. So like this was Black History Month, just whatever theme you were given. And if you're not given a theme, just ask God to help you uh, be connected with whatever event that is spiritually, so that actual song can come to you, be revealed to you, so you can go forth. So once you're given a theme, whether by them or by God, select the appropriate song, and God will reveal it to you, and you'll know it, you'll feel it, because it should make the hairs on your arm just rise up in the back of your neck. You should feel a tingling. It's like, this is the song. This song just ministers to me in a mighty, in a great way. And I know, once again, if the song ministers to you as the leader and the choreographer, it's going to minister to everybody else. It has to reach you. And even individual dances, they have to reach you. If songs don't minister to you, you're not going to minister effectively. So just try to work on that. That's for everybody. If the song isn't ministering to you, if you as a dancer, or you are told by your dance leader, this is the song we're going to minister to, and you're not feeling that song, keep listening to it. Keep listening to it, pray, and ask God to open up your heart, mind, and spirit to the song, so that you can receive it, and so that you can be ministered to by that song through the words, as well as the artist who's singing that song. So once you receive all that and you're ministered to this song, by this song, minister to by this song, then you'll be able to minister to others effectively through dance. Okay, and spirit, because the spirit comes through. It should come through your dance. All right, so again, how you go about it, the theme, present a theme given by God, select the appropriate song, and get a full vision. Once you select the song and you listen to the lyrics and what the message is being conveyed, and of course, overall is Jesus and God and salvation. But whatever the particular message is being conveyed, talking about healing, as I mentioned earlier, talking about power, gaining strength, being inspired, going forward and stepping, walking on by faith. Whatever that overall message is, you have to take it all in. Take it all in as a whole, and then you have to dissect it. Because when you dissect it, you'll be able to understand it even more, and you get the overall picture, and that will help you with your overall vision before you start choreographing the piece. And once you get that vision, um, you again ask God for guidance and direction and creativity in adding drama or acting pieces in there. And once you do that, then you go ahead and choreograph it, put it together. And now sometimes the acting parts, when you're in your choreographical phase or process, sometimes the acting scenes may come to you before you start choreographing, or it may come to you after you've choreographed the whole piece. And there are times when it may come to you in the midst of you choreographing the dance piece. So it all depends. For me, the acting pieces on the last one, Then My Lord Delivered Daniel, it came before. My vision, the acting portion came before I start choreographing the piece. It's interesting because I, again, my mindset was in that slavery mindset, what our people went through on a daily basis. And I had to start there because it was here and I couldn't rest. I couldn't move forward until I got that part out the way. I got that woman's voice, that old slavery, like a Harriet Tubman type voice, just speaking about her experience as a slave. And so I had to start there. So mine came before. So however yours coming, it's okay. Don't fret if your vision as far as the acting portion didn't come first. Don't fret. It's going to come. Just stay prayerful and stay open, spiritually open to what God has to reveal to you so that you can go forth and teach. So go ahead and teach it to the dance ministry. But after you choreograph, before you teach it to the dance ministry, be sure you speak to them first. Talk to them, express your vision, express the overall picture so that they can be on the same page as you, mentally and spiritually, so they can have that same mindset, so they can see that vision, so they can see that overall picture, that big picture of what you see, what God revealed to you, so that you all can be on the same page and the actual piece as a whole can be effective to those who are going to see in the end once you all go forth. So definitely speak it and share the vision with the dancers so that you all can be on the same page mentally, psychologically, and spiritually, as well as physically when you go forth in dance. All right, and the next thing you should do is after you share with the dancers, you definitely want to, I went ahead of myself. Um, um, and after you've shared it with the dancers, then you go forward. You go forward and make sure and you clean up, how you normally do as a choreographer. And it doesn't always have to be the leader. Because sometimes leaders, such as myself, we let other people choreograph pieces. We let your co-choreographer, your dance ministry assistant, choreograph a piece, or just another member, like I did at one point, as I mentioned in one of my talks, the discussion talking about a male dancer being in the dance ministry. I had our only male dancer actually. I had our only male dancer, TJ, choreograph a piece. So the choreographer does not always have to be you as the leader. Give other people opportunity to go forth and share their gift for God that God has placed within them. So go ahead and choreograph the piece and clean up as much as you can. And again, even through the cleanup and tweaking, there are tweaking periods. So even with cleaning up and going over pieces at a time and up from beginning to end, many times, such as myself, God give me another vision. It's like, oh, do it this way. We used to go left and let go right. Or we used to go up, go down. We used to do a layout, do a lunge or whatever. Other things will come to you, may come to you. Let me just say that. But other things often, different things often come to me. Things tend to be a change, but it's never really a major change whereby the dancers cannot adjust to the changes. Because you got to be mindful of that as well, because you don't want anything to be a major change, especially when the time is getting close to the day you need to minister. Because once you make big changes towards the end, um, it can really throw people off and it can look as if you never rehearsed. Maybe y'all had one or two rehearsals. It's like, oh, y'all are terrible. Y'all need to get it together, do it again, try. Y'all need more rehearsals. No, you don't want to do that. And now there were times when I actually had to make minor changes at the very last rehearsal. Very minor. Again, that's minor, whereby individual dancers it did not affect them psychologically, whereby they'll forget. It's just like a real simple, simple. I'm gonna just use this as an example. Instead of your hands doing jazz hands, you just do blade hands. Okay, something as simple as that. Blade hands, blade, not jazz, blade, because it gives you a better look for whatever reason. It may have a cleaner look. That's why there were times when I did have to make minor changes at the very last rehearsal to give it that clean look. You always want to be clean. Your pieces want to be clean because it's excellence. It's part of the spirit of excellence and presentation. God is an excellent God. He presents to us everything in an excellent way. Why can't we present to him things in an excellent way? Why not? He deserves it. Amen. Yes, he does. All right, so here are some nuggets for you. In addition to those steps of going forth and incorporating drama or acting into your choreographed pieces. Here's some nuggets. Just add a little bit at a time. Just a little bit. When you're trying it for the first time, even if you're trying it for the fifth or sixth or 10th time, just add a little bit of drama or acting into your pieces because you don't want to do too much, add too much. Because let's say the first, well, dance one, you add a little bit, and dance two, you add more, so much more. And dance three, you're acting from beginning to, you might as well be a drama ministry. Okay, so you don't want to do that. You have acting from beginning to end. You're acting more than you're dancing. No, you want to scale off. You want to just kind of like sprinkle your dance choreography every once in a while with acting. And I say every once in a while. You don't want to do it every dance piece that you do because again, people gonna uh, me personally, if I'm out there in congregation, I always put myself in somebody else's shoes. I will look at it as y'all always did this the dance ministry or the drama ministry. They always it's supposed to be dancing, but they act more than they dance. It might as well be a drama ministry. So you don't want to always have acting in your pieces. Just make sure when you do, it's not that much and it's not that often and it's not from the beginning to the end. And some people I've seen, and then that was in a piece with Vision, the one of the major acting pieces that I'm sure many of you have seen, especially during Resurrection Sunday, Easter services, when people will raise up one individual and who represents Jesus on the cross, that kind of thing. That's a very effective active piece that is commonly used. So, but throughout the rest of the piece, you're dancing. But when it comes to this particular focal point of Jesus on the cross being risen and resurrected, then that becomes effective. You want to give people a little element of surprise at times. You don't want them to be like, oh, I know what's coming. Oh, here they go with their acting. Okay, all right, that's cute. That's norm. That's norm. Because you don't want it to become the norm. Because then that again, and that at that point they become a little bored. Some people, I must say that some people will become a little bored and again start to look at you as a drama ministry as opposed to a dance ministry. So keep the dance going. Keep the dance going. All right, and in closing, um, again, adding drama, acting to your, I'm going to read this part, adding drama or acting to your choreography adds in the effectiveness or aids, yeah, sorry, adding drama to your choreography aids in the effectiveness of your ministry with that extra layer of visual art. I'm going to repeat it again since I messed up the first time. Adding, look, I'm messing up again. Adding drama or acting to your choreography aids in the effectiveness of your ministry with that extra layer of visual arts. So go forth. I encourage you again, if you've never done it before, I encourage you to go forth in Jesus' name. Let God use you and your dance ministry in a mighty way as He overall gets the glory in which He so rightfully deserves. And again, what I'm providing for you are tips and recommendations. But most importantly, just make sure you get your inspiration, you pray to God, get your inspiration and motivation from Him and watch how he moves. Amen. All right. So next week, so that was adding drama or dance to your choreography. Now, next week, we're going to talk about something that's a little different, but needed, necessary. Some of you may have experienced this in your ministry. You haven't, but I want to prepare ministries for having individuals with physical disabilities become interested in your ministry? How do you go about that? How do you handle that? What do you do? How should you approach the interest? Right? That's something to think about. I've never had that experience. I've never had anyone to, with a physical disability express their interest. So, but again, I always put myself in other people's shoes. So just thinking along the concept, I've been going having had disability trainings on jobs and stuff like that. So I pretty much have an idea how to handle individuals with disabilities, and in particular, we're going to talk about those with physical disabilities because dance is a physical dance, physical art. And so, and I have seen um, individuals in wheelchairs part of a dance ministry. So we're going to talk about that on next week. And because with that, I am going to have a guest, a special guest that's going to help me with helping you with sharing the awareness of dealing with, I hate to say dealing with, of communicating with and working with someone with a physical disability who may be interested in your dance ministry. Okay, so until then, I'll see you. Have a blessed one. Bye bye.